Fellow South Africans, I stand before you and address you this evening as the Commander-in-Chief of the South African National Defence Force on new appointments to the leadership of our armed forces. By virtue of the powers vested in me by our Constitution and legislation, it is my responsibility to appoint the Chief of the South African National Defence Force, as well as those who will work with him as part of the military command. The military command is constituted by the chiefs of the services and divisions of the South African National Defence. These are the South African Army, the South African Navy, the South African Air Force, and the South African Military Health Services. In addition, the military command consists of the Chief of Joint Operations, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Chief of Logistics, and Chief of Human Resources, and the Chief of Staff. All the members of the military command are commanders of their respective services and divisions. I have chosen to make a national announcement on these appointments as it is the most substantial change of command of the armed forces in several years. This is when we have a very seamless and well-organized handing over of the command from one group to another. It is fitting that I make these announcements now in the month of April. Not only is this Freedom Month, but it is also the month in which the South African National Defence Force celebrates the anniversary of its formation. It was at midnight on the 27th of April 1994 that all former armed forces in this country ceased to exist and a newly integrated South African National Defence Force was formed. The SANDF brought together the forces of Umkhonto weSizwe, the Azanian People's Liberation Army, and the defense forces of the previous order, the SADF and the defense forces of the then Transkei, Bophuthatswana, Venda, and Ciskei. It is a matter of profound significance that the SANDF was born on the same day of our democracy. The SANDF has as its central mission the protection of the South African nation and the defense of our democratic constitutional order. Since its formation nearly 27 years ago, the SANDF has been vital to the preservation of peace and stability in our land. It has made a valuable contribution to the country's development and to strengthening the bonds of friendship and solidarity with other countries in our region and on our continent. The SANDF has given effect to our determination to be a nation that is at peace with itself and at peace with its neighbors and at peace with the world. Most recently, the SANDF has made a valuable contribution to the national response to the coronavirus pandemic and continues to provide support as we strive to overcome this grave crisis. The achievements of the SANDF over the last few years have taken place under the leadership of the outgoing Chief of the South African National Defence Force, General Soli Zachariah Shoke, who retires on the 31st of May 2021. General Shoke retires after years of distinguished service to the people of our country. A young activist of the 1976 generation, General Shoke became a combatant of Umkhonto weSizwe and commander in various roles, and ultimately serving in the SANDF after the integration process in April 1994. He distinguished himself in the early days of integration as the Major General and Chief Human Resource Support. He took over the reins as Lieutenant General and Chief of the South African Army, a responsibility he held until his appointment as Chief of the SANDF in 2011. He has led the military command of the SANDF over the years with distinction, and especially as the principal policy advisor to the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans. Since becoming President and Commander-in-Chief in 2018, I have admired and appreciated General Shoke's professionalism, diligence, loyalty to myself as Commander-in-Chief, as well as loyalty to the Constitution of our country and to the people of our country. He has continued to give me wise counsel on an ongoing basis on matters of national importance. And on behalf of all South Africans, I wish to thank General Shoke for his outstanding and excellent service to the nation. Several further appointments to the military command have been occasioned by the retirement of some service and division chiefs during 2020 and 2021. These include the Chief of the South African Air Force and its commander, Lieutenant General, retired now, Zimpande Msimang, whose retirement took effect in September 2020. I wish to thank him for ensuring that our Air Force continues to fulfill its responsibility to the people of our country, as well as helping out in our region whenever needed. I also take this opportunity to thank the outgoing or reassigned members of the military command as follows: Chief of Joint Operations, Lieutenant General Ruzani Maphanya; Chief of Defense Intelligence, Lieutenant General Jeremiah Nyembe; Chief of the South African Military Health Services, Surgeon General Zola Dabula. As I thank them for their service to the country, both in the struggle for liberation and in the South African National Defense Force, it is a great honor to appoint the new Chief of the South African National Defense Force and new members of the military command. With effect from the 1st of June 2021, Lieutenant General Ruzani Maphanya will assume the position of Chief of the South African National Defense Force. General Maphanya is a highly decorated officer with vast operational experience. His military career began in 1978 in Umkhonto weSizwe, and since 1994 he has held numerous positions in the SANDF. He was appointed as General Officer commanding the South African Special Forces in 2006 and as General Officer commanding the South African Infantry Formation in 2016. In 2019, Lieutenant General Maphanya was appointed as Chief of Joint Operations. He will be promoted from Lieutenant General to General upon his appointment and will serve in this position for a period of 5 years. The appointment of a new head of South Africa's armed forces is accompanied by the following appointments to the military command. Major General Wiseman Simo Mbambo is appointed as Chief of the South African Air Force. Major General Mbambo began his military career in Umkhonto weSizwe, where, among other things, he served as a training instructor in the Kibashe camp in Angola and was commander in charge of the former MK military aviation group that underwent training in the Soviet Union from 1987 to 1991. He has served in several positions in the South African Air Force, including General Officer Commanding Air Force Base Waterkloof and Chief of Staff Air Operations. Major General Mbambo is currently Deputy Chief of the Staff of the SANDF. I also am pleased to announce the appointment of Major General Siphiwe Sangweni as Chief of Joint Operations as of the 1st of June 2021. The Joint Operations Division is responsible for internal and external operations conducted by the SANDF and for the employment of joint forces. Major General Sangweni began his military career in the underground structures of Umkhonto weSizwe during the period of struggle before undergoing military training in Tanzania. He returned to South Africa in February 1994 as a platoon commander in the National Peacekeeping Force before being integrated into the South African National Defence Force. He has served in numerous operational deployments, including as part of the African Union and the United Nations missions in Burundi and the Democratic Republic of Congo. He is currently serving as the General Officer Commanding Joint Operations Headquarters. I'm also pleased to announce that Major General Nchabeni Mapaa is appointed as Surgeon General with effect from the 1st of November 2021. The Surgeon General commands the South African Military Health Service and plans and executes a healthcare plan to a patient population of over 300,000 people. Major General Mapaa began his professional career as a medical officer at Chilizini Hospital in Thohoyandou in Limpopo in 1992. He has held several positions within the Military Health Service, including as General Officer Commanding one military hospital from 2012 to 2020. Since June 2020, he has been serving as Chief Director, Military Health Force Preparation. I'm also pleased to announce the appointment of Major General Talita Mxakato as the Chief of Defense Intelligence as of June 1st, 2021. The Defense Intelligence Division provides combat-ready intelligence and counterintelligence capabilities for employment in operations or joint and multinational force preparations. Major General Talita Mxakato joined Umkhonto weSizwe in 1983. She completed her basic training in Angola and specialization in training in the German Democratic Republic. She has served in the SANDF since its formation in 1994. Before joining the Defense Intelligence Division in 2003, she served in the South African Military Health Services and the Defense Inspectorate Division. She currently serves as the Deputy Chief Defense Intelligence. Once she assumes her position as the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Talita Mxakatho will become the first woman to be appointed to the military command of the South African National Defence Force. This is a significant and long overdue development in the ongoing effort to advance the position of women in our armed forces. Upon taking up their positions, the 3 Major Generals will be promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General. These appointments demonstrate the value of effective succession planning and the development of talent across all institutions as critical as the South African National Defence Force. I am confident that under the leadership of these men and women, the South African National Defence Force will continue to fulfill its constitutional responsibility to defend and protect the Republic, its territorial integrity, and the people of South Africa. I have no doubt that as these distinguished individuals and officers assume their new posts, they will also be conscious of the assignment that history has bestowed upon them: to be the guardians of our democracy, the guardians of our Constitution, and the protectors of the peace and the freedom of the people of South Africa. With these men and women, I have all the confidence that as South Africans, we can be safe and will be safe. I thank you, and I present to you the Military High Command, and once again want to thank Minister Mapisa Nqakula and Deputy Minister, as well as the Secretary of Defense, for the absolute wonderful work they've continued to do in ensuring that we have a peaceful, seamless, and well-organized succession in the South African National Defence Force. Without the focused involvement of Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa Nqakula, we would not have gotten here as we did, but we now did. And in consultation with me, she has managed the whole process extremely well. And lastly, I say thank you to General Shoke for all the work that he has done. Thank you very much, and good evening. Thank you. Thank you. That is the end. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.